Today we're talking about Sasscore. It's a pretty similar genre to chaotic hardcore, really, but there's a few differences in my mind, at least, that distinguish it from specifically chaotic hardcore. And I think as I explain them, we'll kind of get to the bottom of what the guitar techniques that are associated with the subgenre are. The first time someone ever probably referred to something as kind of like sass or sassy as a type of music, I think was Nation of Ulysses. In an interview that was done with one of their members at one point, the term sascore probably first turned up in descriptions of the Blood Brothers. So yeah, those two bands are probably like great reference points for like how sascore developed as a genre, at least across the 90s. Today, like a lot of genres, it's sort of been swallowed to some extent by metalcore. But we can get into like what makes sascore. Chromaticism is a big part of it. We definitely want to just like verge on atonality a lot of the time. And another big part is rhythm. And we're going to be borrowing a lot of rhythms from like disco and funk specifically. So we're going to be doing things that have kind of like a dancey, hypnotic feel, maybe like a... I'm using like lots of tritones in there and kind of trying to keep things a little bit offbeat, a little bit syncopated, playing single notes in kind of like a repetitive, funky way. You can also do like a slide up thing that's common in funk music, like a... Right, something along those lines. Chromatic ascending and descending is really common too, like a... In terms of chord structure, like, you can go absolutely crazy with this stuff for sure. You know, just like absolutely dirty stuff, like a... You can also work in, you know, your classic like panic chords. And tritones, of course. I've been playing tritones this whole time. Tritones are going to be your best friend here for sure. Moving around almost exclusively through tritones is going to make your sound very sassy. And increasingly, like I was saying, you know, there's kind of like a metalcore component to this. I don't know how much you want to work that in, but, you know, that's just kind of a lot of chugging for the most part. Kind of stuff that's just like a lot of subgenres in post-hardcore, you're going to want to find a really good drummer and one who probably understands jazz and dance music really well. Someone who can definitely hold down the pocket and also get very crazy with it. Both of those things are super desirable. This is definitely a genre where I think playing along with the metronome can sometimes help. It depends on how absolutely crazy you're trying to get with it. There's not a whole lot of limits on how like sloppy you can be when it comes to this stuff, and a lot of the times it just sort of descends into like pure chaos. But you know, if you want more structure, that's good too. And I think it's good to be able to do that sometimes if you want to. So practicing like really staying in time with like I was doing earlier, like you're probably going to want some funny pedals that make lots of noise and stuff. Like combining noise and guitar is going to be really critical here. You can try some prepared methods like playing guitar with like a slide and stuff like that. I think all that's pretty fun, and it's definitely commonly practiced in a lot of like earlier kind of like sass type stuff. And I think the vocals are a big part of what makes the genre too, and that's like a whole other question. But yeah, there's like this particular sort of like yelpy, not exactly like screamed delivery that you hear a lot in Sasscore specifically. That again is kind of like more reminiscent of like a post-rocky, dancey vibe. You know, all of this in my mind is sort of descended from Devo, really. If I had to sort of like point at like a historical reference in popular music that really birthed this kind of like heavy sound, so to speak. So yeah, maybe go back and listen to them. Check out Nation of Ulysses. Blood Brothers is such a classic. Have fun starting your Sasscore project. I hope it goes really well.